worth laying out the political landscape of New South Wales and where this election will be decided. First up, we'll look at country New South Wales. There's a few marginal seats out here which could be important and help the government stay in office. First off, Murray down here is held by an independent ex-shooter Fishers and Farmers MP, Helen Dalton. If the Nationals can take that seat back, that's an extra seat for the government. There's a couple of marginal seats. Up here we have Tweed on 5%. Labor has hopes for Upper Hunter on 0.5, which is very marginal at the moment, but it would be much safer for the Nationals on federal figures. Goulburn on 3%. It's unusual to see Goulburn on such a narrow margin because Labor hasn't won the seat in that area for 6 decades. But a seat to watch is well above the margin for victory, 11.6%. Monero, but it's a seat that's gone with government at 27 of the last 30 elections. And Labor's brought back a former popular MP for the seat in Steve Wan, so that'll be an interesting seat to watch on the night. But a lot of the election will be decided in Sydney. And for people, I'll explain the political geography of Sydney. North of the Harbour, all Liberal. Big band of Labor seats here between the Harbour and the Georges River. A few more pockets of Liberal outposts in the Southern Shire and Western Sydney. And some of those seats are blue now because it is a marginal, it is a close parliament and the Liberals are in power. Some of them will go back to Labor at this election if Labor wins. A couple of seats to watch are Holsworthy down here in the south on 6%. It's the seats on about 6% that will determine the election. But the first two the Labor needs to win is Penrith on 0.6 in Western Sydney and East Hills down here in the south on 0.1. It's surprising the Liberals have held that seat for three elections. And just as a little sidelight, Cogra, which is Chris Minns' seat, he only holds it with about 0.1% margin for the Labor Party, though nobody's expecting that he'll lose the seat of this election. Now, if the election is close, it's going to be decided on this band of seats here. Now, this is the Harbour and this is Windsor Road. This is the traditional political divide of Sydney. Normally the Liberal seats, they're all Liberal north of that and all Labor to the south, but some of them are blue. And there we've got Drummoyne here, which is 13.6%. It's been drifting away from Labor, so perhaps that one's not in play. Parramatta, 6.5%. It's highly likely. That's probably one of the best chances for Labor to win a seat. Further up, we've got 5.7%, Winston Hills, and then Riverstone on 6.2. They're the band of seats that if that's going to determine the election. If Labor can win all those seats, then they're probably very close to being in government, maybe even majority government. Beyond that, the Liberals have a few other problems, mainly on the North Shore. This is a part of Sydney where the independents won at the federal election with McKellar, Warringah and North Shore, North Sydney. A couple of these seats, like Rob Stokes in Pittwater is retiring. In Wakehurst, Health Minister Brad Hazzard is retiring. All of these seats have independents, and every seat the Liberals lose here is another seat which makes it harder for them to get to majority government or to finish with more seats than Labor. So I think that the big picture is there's a few seats in country New South Wales, but largely it'll be decided in Sydney, and it'll be decided on those seats between 5 and 7% that Labor needs to win a number of to end up with more seats than the Liberal Party for minority government, or in fact if they even achieve majority government in their own right.